Court of Swords, the forward part of the game. So we've moved our campaign around a couple of times, right? We've moved from the Court of Swords proper to kind of the Court of Wands. We dipped north into the Court of Wands a little bit. And now I'm not a big like concrete map kind of guy. I envision if we ever made a campaign setting out of this, I would want to formalize the map so that people would know where things are relative to one another. But for now, in my head, all I really know is that the Court of Coins is very large. The Court of Swords is smaller and mostly like coastal. The Court of Cups is a long, broad, spread out archipelago to the east. And to the west, the Court of Wands is like rocky highlands, desert. I don't want to just be like, because this is the thing. The Court of Coins is not just China, right? It's inspired by China, Mongolia, parts of Russia. It's quite broad. There's a lot of inspiration there. The Court of Cups will run from like the Ainu to Polynesia, with probably some Micronesia thrown in there, depending on where it is. The Court of Swords is like Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, probably parts of Korea. Like that's the sort of southern parts of Asia, probably like India as well on the western side, but not hugely, like not deeply. Probably more like Malaysia. And then to the far west, the Court of Wands isn't just like Persian deserts, right? That's certainly a factor in it, but I really didn't want it to be like Aladdin. It's not fucking Agrabah. It's a bunch of culturally diverse, non-monocultural stuff that includes some of that Persian inspiration, but also like Turkey, parts of like Tangiers, Algeria, North Africa, Egypt, Palestine, Iran, Iraq, a lot of that stuff, that whole kind of broad area of the world. So, I think that while the City of Brass is probably the most firmly rooted in the like swords and sandals desert stuff, we don't have to focus entirely on that. I want to give us some room to do other things. So I think that's where we're going to go with it. I have this vision of like rocky hills, of olive groves, more of like a southern Mediterranean kind of vibe than like a straight up desert. The City of Brass itself is kind of if you live there, it's the center of the known world. But I think also what's cool about the City of Brass. So the City of Brass, let's talk about it mythologically. Let me see what City of Brass. Listen, what happens if you go to the City of Brass is you take 1 damage, and then you get 1 point of mana of any color you want. But the City of Brass is one of the stories in 1001 Nights. It's also a fictional place in Dungeons & Dragons, and it's the capital of the Afridi Empire in the elemental plane of fire. Now, there are no elemental planes. There's no elemental planes in this game. I think that there are elemental places in the world, like the deep oceans of the Court of Cups. There are elementally inclined places, but elementals don't get summoned from another place. You call them up from the existing elements. You're never going to go to the Afridi Empire. There are no Ifrit kingdoms in the for the City of Brass to be in. So I think that the City of Brass is probably built around a place of great fire, right? Like it's the heart of the Court of Wands, and it's the closest to. It's probably one of these places where the elemental powers are close to us. I also want to go like hella big on the City of Brass being like unreasonably enormous, like Fantasy Kingdom enormous, right? So big that it contains its own sub-cities. It's like sprawling metropolis big. It's something that I want it to only be reasonable because it's a fantasy setting. So like it's its own, it's essentially going to be like, you know, the size of like a small state, but it's a whole city. Yeah, and so you can it sprawls in all directions. You can move through it for days without ever seeing the end. There's probably like it's got its own mountain range upon which it was built. There's probably the palace built into this dormant volcano, or maybe not dormant. Maybe it's being channeled by magic to fuel the city's industries. Right? It's huge. It's a huge thing. And so it's going to be like a functional like mega city in the sense that we can have dungeon environments that take place inside of it. I think that there are like wars between neighborhoods within the city, in the same way there might be wars between kingdoms. There are like municipal districts. It's huge. It's going to be a big deal. It has farmlands within the walls. Exactly. All that stuff. Every cool thing that you can imagine within a enormous fantasy city, you can find it. You can find anything that you want in the City of Brass, right? If you wanted to run your own Court of Swords, City of Brass, Blades in the Dark campaign, this would be a great thing that you could do, and it would be about like one of the small parts of the city. There are dungeons within the city that are built on ancient neighborhoods. There are guilds of explorers who visit those districts and try to dig them out. I think it's going to be super cool to explore this place. You can leave and go out into the Court of Wands, but really the City of Brass is its own country in and of itself. And I don't want it to be all like golden minarets and fucking flying carpets and turbans and genies, right? We can do better than that. So let me talk to you about the source books. I've got a pile of books here. I want to show you the things that I'm using to inspire me for the future of this game. So the first thing that I turn to when I try to figure out really anything I can't decide, one of these bad boys. So this is the Golden Thread Tarot. This is the tarot deck, my tarot deck of choice right now. It's very cool. It's a cool tarot deck. It's black and gold. So I use this when I'm not sure really like anything. When I'm like, I got to figure out, what is this NPC like? Or what is a cool thing that might complicate this adventure? I can pull a card and it can inspire me. So like, let's see. What do we want our first adventure with these characters to be like? Let's see. All right, it needs to contain elements of the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, all right. So the Queen of Pentacles. This is how I sometimes just do like adventure stuff. So the Queen of Pentacles, aka the Queen of Coins, she is trustworthy. She is resourceful. She is down to earth and big-hearted. She has a soft touch. She is a nurturing mother figure. So there you go. There's an NPC that I can include. There's a facet of this adventure that I can include. So if I just pull that card, I can think about how I incorporate the Queen of Coins into this adventure. So this first adventure might be about protecting or recovering that kind of character. Or, Christ, this is the dark version of that. Yeah, they could kill someone like that, right? Maybe it's time for her to die and pass on her soul. And maybe their job is to, she could be a matriarch of a poor part of the city. She is a kind matriarch, but maybe it's time for her to go. Right? So that's how, honestly, this deck, or literally any other tarot deck, physical or digital, you can use it to inform your GMing really easily. So that's the thing that I do all the time in all the games that I play, but especially in Court of Swords. So that's the thing that I use. For any kind of like wilderness stuff, if I need a random table or I need to just get like a few interesting details and I don't have a full idea, this bad boy. This is the Perilous Wilds. Ooh, look, it's sort of see-through. Look at that. The Perilous Wilds. It's technically a Dungeon World supplement, but it has all kinds of really good shit for travel, for exploration, for like randomly rolling on stuff, creating followers. It's freaking great. Everything that Jason Lutz has done for Dungeon World is great, both in itself and elsewhere. So like, you need a random name? Cool. This guy's name is Lemba, which means valley. His friend, Barat, his name means friend. So anyway, that's the thing. Perilous Wilds, it's all kinds of useful little like weather, details about monsters, discoveries, random stuff. And a couple of the things from this book, from the Lampblack and Brimstone stuff, have been reproduced online. So if you look up like Perilous Wilds random generator, you can find some stuff like that. Another game, a totally separate game that I've been reading and wanting to play, but not having had an opportunity to get me in the mood of like the City of Brass and of this Arabian Nights situation. Is this Bad Boy by Meg Baker? It's Meg Baker's game, 1001 Nights, which is a game about telling stories in that milieu. It's a beautiful game, really, really good storytelling game, and amazing art. Meg is a great designer. It's a beautiful game. Yeah, check it out. That's Claudia Cangini, I think her name is. Yeah, Claudia Cangini. She did the art for this. She does a lot of the Italian role-playing game art. She did some of the art for Italian Dungeon World. So that's been an inspiration for me, just reading that, thinking about the kind of like rich storytelling environment of this setting. I want our season 3 to seem like a tale told between, two grizzled old men in a tea shop over hookah, right? Like, have you heard the tale of Berg the Unkillable? No? Let me tell you. It all begins in the shadow of the tower. Right? Like I want it to feel mythological in a way that maybe the game hasn't so far. So that's a thing. Another game that I've been using all the way through, but especially now to inspire me. Boop, is this Dark Tome? This is a copy of Johnstone Metzger's old school role-playing game, The Nightmares Underneath. Now, The Nightmares Underneath is a game that you might be familiar with some of its stuff by way of inflation in my game. So the inflation mechanisms come from this game. This game is full of really good stuff, and what I'm particularly interested in from this game is its downtime stuff. And its nightmare incursions, right? A lot of the way that the Mara penetrate the world from their hell plane kind of comes to me from TNU. But this has rules for what happens if your character is between adventures, living in style, selling your services, buying and selling. It's got a lot of rules for things that D&D more or less just ignores. And I really like it. I think it's very cool. So I'm interested in seeing if the characters get involved in social institutions. I think that there's going to be a lot of like other adventurers in town that they're going to be sort of a part of their ongoing universe. We'll see other adventurers, and they'll have their own little societies formed. So The Nightmares Underneath, it's a very cool game. So it's been inspiring me. And then last but not least, because you have to use the resources of the game that are with you, and there are a few things in here that are not, I don't know, useless, but there's some interesting stuff maybe we could use. Hey, look, it's the Dungeon Master's Guide. So the Dungeon Master's Guide particularly has, some tables and some stuff that you can look at for inspiration if you don't know how to make NPCs that are interesting. Villain methods. Some of the random tables are okay. Most of the Dungeon Master's Guide is like magic items and shit and like alternate rules. The things I guess I'm interested in looking through here are about creating the universe. Some bits about, the city. But honestly, I mostly probably won't be using the Dungeon Master's Guide all that much. It's good, I guess, if you haven't been doing this very long. if you need some basic stuff and you don't already have a bunch of ideas, knowing the difference between like a monarchy and a theocracy can be helpful for you. The DM guide has some good stuff, but I don't know how much I'm going to rely on it. So I guess, like, here's the thing. Let's talk a little bit about what one needs to do, because functionally, we're starting a brand new campaign, right? Like, this is what's kind of fucked up about the timeline of the way we do Court of Swords, is if everybody dies and we decide to end the season, and I don't have any warning, like it happens on a Tuesday, we have a game the next Tuesday, it's my job to to start a new campaign by the next time we do an episode, which is hard because I need players and I need a world and I need all this bullshit. So a lot of it is just going to be me winging it. Like, honestly, I'm going to just kind of wing it as we go. Now, a lot of people have asked me, well, if you want to build a city, Vornheim, build a city with Vornheim. Vornheim, the complete city kit, only does one thing well. It does one thing really well, and it makes Vornheim. If you want a city that is like vaguely gothic, kind of weird in that vaguely gothic way, you will get it from Vornheim. You will not get anything else. And I don't want a Vornheim. I want a city of brass. I want my own jam, right? So I just wanted to address that because Godjaw mentioned it in chat. It's fine. It's a great book for that, but it's not for me. In this instance, there is no room in the Court of Swords for gothic horror. There's no room in Court of Swords for Vikings either. It's just style choices, right? So what I need to do is not design the entire Court of Wands. What I need to do is not design the entire City of Brass. All I need is something to do for the players, and then a place for them to do it in. It's literally it. Yes, Dave, there is room for giant robots. Ask the elves. Ask the elves. Yes, yeah, Rising Cosmos brought up a great point. If you're looking for a non-game supplement that does some cool city stuff, Invisible Cities by Italo Calvino, and then also the Dungeon World, the early Dungeon World supplement stuff has some of that. Some of the Planarch's Codex refers to Calvino's biz. So Calvino has some good stuff. So I don't know. I mean, all I really need is to understand that the tower is about destruction. It's about the tearing down of things, right? So the tower wants something destroyed or ruined because its time is up, right? I have to decide thematically if the tower wants, like, do we go whole hog on let's make them bad guys right away, or do we give them something nice and like gentle to do? Do we give them something bad that they need to clean up first, or do we give them something good, or do we fuck with them and we say, yes, here's a bad thing, go get rid of it, and then we reveal it to be good? Or the other way, where we say, here's a good thing, you got to go and mess it up. Oh, maybe it's actually bad, right? When you have to think about it. So I think the thing to do is give them something to wreck and make it complicated. Yeah. I think that's something that we want, right? So we'll give them the opportunity to change, and that's all that matters. Is like teaching them that neutral change is the thing. So let's start there. Let's say Hazan tells them to investigate some part of like the undercity of the City of Brass, some slums district. Let's show the dark heart of the City of Brass before we show its shining surface, right? So in the somewhere in the slums. So our setting is gonna be the slums, maybe like the slum dungeons. I think that there's definitely places where the poor live alongside monsters. In the bad parts of town, in the like the ghettos. So in a lot of ways, the ghettos are maybe like they have this kind of like humans live in a dungeon. Yeah, and I love the idea that these like slum / dungeons like all kind of coexist, and that maybe like we all our garbage dump is the lair of an otiug, and maybe your neighbors are a clutch of Mogwai. Maybe you're not scared of like orcs because you live near them. I can't believe I forgot this. Okay, so huge inspiration for my City of Brass. Let me talk to you about New Crobuzon. Let me give you a moment. So New Crobuzon is home to Perdido Street Station. In the world of Bazlag, it's the setting of a novel named Perdido Street Station, written by an author named China Mevel. It is my favorite example of urban fantasy. It does weird non-European fantasy urban stuff so fucking well. So go look up that book if you want cool weird urban fantasy. China Mevel's Perdido Street Station. I am very much about that. So there's definitely going to be some kind of like train in the City of Brass with stations. And maybe we should set this ghetto around one of those stations. Let's use our Perilous Wilds to come up with a cool name for this station. We've got some tables here. Based loosely on Hungarian. That's kind of cool. Based on Indonesian. I need some, maybe the Hungarian names. Maybe we'll pick one of these. Dwarf Watch Station. We could go ironic and call it Hightown Station. Let's see, what's that? Negviros. We could call it Kozalo Station. I like Kozalo Station. That sounds good. Yeah. Kozalo. Let's call it Kozalo. Kozalo Station. So the core of the neighborhood is Kozalo Station. It is a ruin of a station. You do not go there unless you live in this shitty neighborhood. And I think that it's on the way, using these magical trains. It's on the way through to like an industrial district, but it's on the edge. It's on the edge of the district, and it's a kind of ruinous slum dungeon. So I think that's gonna be a thing. Kozalo Station, slums, dungeon. Okay, so let's pick a race. What's the prevailing race? Yeah, it's an underground station. Totally. Let's pick a prevailing race that lives in this ghetto, in this dungeon. Who moved to the City of Brass? Who joined this giant city? Who came here, settled in this slum? Oh, halflings. Oh, that's so good. No, it's a halfling ghetto. We haven't seen halflings yet. No, that's perfect. That's so perfect. Okay, cool. Kozalo Station is a halfling ghetto. The halflings are Russian in my world. Halfling ghetto. Oh my god, Russian halflings. It's so good. Fuck. It's perfect. They're like short and squat, and they don't have beards, but they have big sideburns, and they live in halfling ghetto, and they sing loud song, and they work in mines, and they mine the brass from under the city, right? They mine the bones of the city and bring up this like orichalcum, this like highly enchantable brass. Oh, that's so good. Fuck. All right, cool. So they're miners, and craftsmen. Oh my god, that works perfectly, because I think that a faction of them, like I think a group of them are like Marxist halflings. Like there's definitely like a revolutionary group that runs a printing press, and they like they fly her and they want you to like join. Oh my god, oh my god, it's so good. Yeah. All right, Marxists, and they love everybody, like all races, because under in true like communal halfling fashion, everyone is equal, right? We seize the means of production from these immortal upper classes, right? Literally, the king and the queen cannot die. The courts are false. The conclave of courts are false. Oh man, and everybody thinks that they're like Mara cultists because they're against the current order. Yeah, and maybe some of them are. Yeah, Marxist halflings want social change. Oh my god, and these are our villains. Oh my god. Okay, so because of the card that we drew before, the Queen of Coins, our villain, our like person to be killed in the halfling ghetto, the Queen of Coins represents a woman, a revolutionary. Oh yeah. Now these guys could be swayed. They could be swayed to the side of the temple or to the temple of the tower or not, right? Like if we sway them to the side of the tower, they could be a significant force, but they don't believe in the arcana. They want to overthrow them. So yeah, the Queen of Coins, a revolutionary woman, halfling. Oh, that's so good. They live in the darkness under the they live in the darkness underneath the city. She's not known as the Queen of Coins. She's just we represent her as the Queen of Coins. We need a cool name for her. So let's look up Russian name generator. But I think she's gonna have like a traditionally halfling first name, like Lily or something cute. Help me come up with a cute plant name. Rose, maybe Rose is good. Yeah, Lily or Rose or something like that. Viktorovna, Yurievna. Oh, Yurievna is good. Dandelion. Yeah, Primrose. Oh, Primrose. That's perfect. Okay, Mad Mike, that's great. I'm good. Primrose is perfect. Primrose Yurievna. Primrose Yurievna. She's a young halfling woman, a little firebrand, and she's like rallying these halflings around her, and she lives in the dungeons. She lives in the halfling like slum dungeon, and the tower wants her either turned to their cause or destroyed. Yeah. And I think probably some of the halflings still fight on the side. They believe in the tower, right? Because revolution and tower are very very much connected. So maybe what Hazan wants is to meet with her. Let's see, Primrose Yurievna, find her, sway her to our cause, or kill her and disband her false revolutionaries. Because either all revolutions must take place under the shadow of the tower, right? The only true revolution is a non-secular one, because if we upheaval the order, if we overthrow things, then that leaves space for the Mara to slip in. So disband her false revolution. Because remember, even though the characters work for the tower is this kind of the tower is very much in the order. It is of the status quo. They work very much for the order. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think that the way that it'll be suggested to sway her to their cause will be to show her loss, right? But they'll figure that out. That's on them. Cool. Okay. So we need a way to kick this off. We need to like hit it with a bang right out the gate. So I'm going to need, maybe they're fighting their ways towards her lair. Maybe like, I kind of like starting with a fight. It lets the players get some idea of their jam and how they work. They're in the slum dungeons. The slum dungeons are protected by monsters that live within them. And then also just like stuff that's around. So I wonder if we should start this at, let's talk about what we need to express to the players. What do we want them to know right at the beginning?
Welcome to the math squad.
Thanks for helping out, Mike. Yeah. I mean, we could, I'm tempted to start with like a bar fight or something, but I want them to be active. I want them to like actively be destroying or like wrecking something. I want them to be in the midst of a mission. Maybe we can end, you know what we can do? We can start at the end of a mission, right? We can start them in a fight, and then I can say, cool, you've defeated this thing, and in doing so, you have done what Hazan asked, and then they can go back, and the second act can be about Hazan giving them the halfling mission. Yeah, let's do that. So let's start them with something like they're fighting demons or monsters or something. And then we'll in media res that shit. So let me just, I'll throw together kind of like a generic dungeon to begin them. Their first mission was to like defeat a monster or something, right? Like kill a monster that dwells in the Undercity, just to like clear up some space for the halflings to get in. Yeah, totally. Okay, here's an idea. So let's come up with a good encounter. An underground encounter, fighting some monsters in the slum dungeons.
You have returned.
Hey, Jackery, welcome back. Let's pop over to the old Kobold Fight Club and see what we can come up with. Yeah, they're clearing out monsters to let the halflings fill in that space. Your mission is to defeat a monster or something. I don't care. Just fuck off. Let me get myself out of your way here. Whoop. All right. So this is the 5e encounter generator. I use this constantly. This is Kobold Fight Club. It's the best. I've got 3 level 5 characters, and now I need to figure out what to kill them with. So if I wanted to be really weird, I could just set it to a random encounter. I could set the location, right, underground, and I could just hit random. A Bodak. 1 Azer, a Myconid Sovereign, or an Orcand of Yurtrus, etc. But this is I don't want to do this way. I want to do it. I want to pick out some underworld type monsters. Let's set a minimum CR of like 1. I don't care about the max CR. And let's make it hard. I don't want to go too like all in on them in the first encounter. And this fight will definitely be like the end of an adventure. I will tell them like, good job, you did it. This was they're starting with the last boss. The first time I ever saw this in an adventure was with the sword. It's a Burning Wheel demo. And the Burning Wheel demo says you've just completed this dungeon. You've all delved through the dungeon. You find yourself finally in the room where the treasure is. There's a magic sword you all want. What do you do? Right? So yeah. Let me find some cool monsters that we could use. I want this fight to be like meaningful. Maybe we like have a set piece monster to start with. And I want it to be like they've just worked their way through clearing out this area that had become like cluttered with bad stuff. I don't want it to be too easy, so I'm not going to start with undead because I think undead Ramus will just blast the shit out of them and it'll be over. I want it to be something that would live in the like ruins of the city, but I don't want it to be a monster that I'm throwing away its intelligence, right? I don't want to be like, here's a monster that would be cool if you had some context. I kind of like the idea of Myconids. Yeah, let's look at what we can do with these dudes. Let's clear these filter. What can I get if I have myconids and they're sovereigns. What is this? It's too much. I could do something like that, like 4 adults and 2 sovereigns. Myconids are kind of wimpy, though. I could probably bonk up some more. Or throw in some other fungal stuff. Yeah, Umber Hulks are fun, too. Let me see what an Umber Hulk. I could do, like, a sovereign. Jesus. It seems like it's pushing a little bit. See, this is where I'm not going to lean too hard into this because I think that these characters are a little overpowered anyway. I don't want this fight to be story focused. I want these to be kind of mindless monsters. I kind of want these monsters to just be in the way and mindless, not like smart enough to negotiate. I just want them to be stupid and fighty. So let's try something like that. I kind of like that. Yeah, they got Emperor Fae. They got some other stuff. This isn't going to be like necrotic damage, so I won't fuck with them. Something like that. I mean, this seems like it says it's double the XP that I'm supposed to use, but ooh, yeah, trolls are a good call. Let me look at that. Let me clear some of this shit. We'll look at some trolls. A little clan of trolls. And then I can paint the trolls as being like, see, this is the problem. Like, apparently 2 trolls is too much. I wonder if there's like a troll and a bunch of other shit that serves them. How about Zvarts? I haven't seen Zvarts yet. Just like a shit ton of Zvarts. Like a troll and his friends. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Let's do like... Yeah, let's do something like that maybe. Let me hop back to this thing. I like the idea of a troll and like a bunch of their little friends. But let me pop back here and we'll take a look at, I want to see them in the, let me see their stats. So there's a little trolley troll. Ramus does have fire to burn up the trolls. So that's good for them. Makes the trolls a little easy. I could do 2 trolls and a bunch of Zvarts. They've only got 15 AC, so. And I think that Shooty McGee is going to kill a bunch of the little guys. So, yeah. Okay, let's just start there. There's just too many options otherwise. So here, let's pop back over and we'll do a troll. Ramus, isn't he dead? Yes, isn't he? Okay, so let's go troll lair. Now, it's important for me that the trolls, like all of the undead, or not undead, all of the monsters in these undercities, in these dungeon ghettos, these slum dungeons, they're intelligent, they have their own structures and cultures, they have their own feelings, they're not just monsters. Outside of the City of Brass, probably, but here, they have homes and families and stuff. And in the slum dungeons, depending on how we look at them, they may or may not be mindless. But I like this idea is they're just clearing out areas for these halflings to fill in, so they can then go after the halflings. Okay, so they're like kind of a rival gang. They own like a sunken factory or something. But let's find a map. So let's take a look at our maps. Sewer, maybe? Something like that. Let's see what we got for sewer maps. So I could like build my own map, but what I'd rather do is find like an existing like sewer map that I can use because I'm lazy. Sewer ponds. Let's see. Like any of these are good. They're a little complicated for my needs. Washed out sewer. I mean, again, I can use the tiles to make my own, but I'm lazy. Battle map subway. Yeah, some of these are like modern, like sewer kind of regions. These are for like a zombie game. Yeah, like I don't want it to just be one big room. Yeah, I have access to the entire library of Roll20 Marketplace stuff because I work for them. Because I'm their GM in residence, so I'm spoiled as heck with all these tiles. An infinite amount of tiles. Well, near infinite anyway. All right, so this is all modern sewer stuff. These are all tunnels. Let's see. Yeah, let's look up like cistern or something like that. I want a full map. I don't want these little tiles. I'm lazy. The last time I built a map, the players just ignored it. So let's see. Okay. Let's try like, yeah, cistern. We could always do tunnel. Yeah, I see very little by way of cistern. I could also do like factory. See, I gotta find something that's not big but isn't small either. Oh, these are nice. I hope these have. Yeah, I recognize these. Caves. We may just have to build our own, my friends. Yeah, these save versus cave ones. They're great, but ooh, necropolis. That's kind of cool. All right. You know what? Fuck it. We'll just build our own. I don't want it to be hallways though. I need a room, so I need like walls. These are all entrances. Yeah, the save versus cave stuff is great. Let's see. Okay, save versus cave. What is this one called? Necropolis. Wow, good spelling, Adam. Use the keyboard like a grown-up. Do you have like just outside walls? Because it's like, it's all hallways and stuff. Here we go. Maybe we can use one of these rooms because we don't really need the outside. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Small chamber. Let's use this. Now, let me see if it scales right or if we're going to need to blow it up. Let's put on that map layer. So this means that the corridor is 15 feet across. 20 feet, give or take. Okay, yeah, that'll do it. That'll be fine. Okay, cool. All right, let me use this one.
You have returned.
What's up, infamous nerd? I think Sir Slaughter's coming up too. Thanks, y'all. Yeah, let me draw this out. So we're gonna use this map. Let's put some bad guys on it. What do we say? Two trolls. Yeah, fuck it. We'll do 2 trolls and then 5 Zvarts. So I'm just dragging them out of the monster manual because I'm lazy. Yeah, big boy. This is their little troll gang lair. It's troll 1 and 2 there. And then, do we have tokens for Zvarts? We should. Yeah. Zvarts. Look at that ugly motherfucker. Look at them. They're so ugly. They're so uggo. All right, and we'll put 1 troll in each room. And the players have like just busted in and they're kicking ass. So we'll do like 3 Zvarts to a troll. Now they're gonna have fireball and stuff, so like I feel like I can have some backups, right? If this is too easy, I can always throw in here. Let me put some more Zvarts on the board. And maybe like a Warlock of Raxavort. whatever the fuck that is. And we'll have them as like backup gang, so they can come in if the fight looks like it's gonna just like get rolled. So these guys are off screen now. Right now, the players are gonna be able to see everything. So what I need to do is turn on the old dynamic lighting, and away we go. And then on my dynamic lighting layer, just draw in some fucking walls. So this is how I do dynamic lighting, in case you've never seen me do this before. I just draw all the way around the dungeon. Boop. 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 And this is going to create my lines of sight. For when the players get added to the rooms. And since the walls are kind of like rough hewn anyway, I don't need to be super accurate with this shit. JP's character is a human, so dark vision is going to be a factor. JP hates it when chat can see things. But he'll have a torch, or someone will have a light spell, like Ramus. No, gotta go off map. There we go. Yeah. So we just basically are working around our around the edges here to draw in the dynamic lighting. And this will block off the terrain. And I use hot pink because it's the easiest to see against the often drab background. And then I'll also use like green and stuff to illuminate the area. So let's see. If I go back to map and background, or sorry, back to the objects and tokens, I can take a look at whether this worked. Yeah, okay, good. Layer of the trolls is illuminated. Perfect. Okay. So there we go. That's nice and quick. I didn't do it to like, make it look real good. Like, check it out. Like, obviously there's some gaps happening. Like down here it ends, but that's just because the characters, like, whatever, they came in from there. It doesn't really matter. If they leave the map, they're leaving the fight. So they're coming here to fight these trolls. If I keep these guys off map, I can actually dump them onto that layer so the characters can't see them. And I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this combat encounter. All I have to do is just add the characters' tokens. And we're good to go. This troll, yeah, let's put him in the bigger room. Let's put him over here. He sleeps on these coffins. Okay, cool. So they'll start separated, and then the Zvarts and the other troll will come running in once the players bust in. And that's it for this encounter, right? I don't really need to stat out anything else for this encounter. If they get into another fight during the episode, what I'll often do is like wing it, right? Like I'll just grab a map on the break, and like that took me less than 5 minutes to make. So on a break, I can put together a dungeon. Let's throw some trash around, shall we? Let's look up some more tokens here. Garbage, trash, bones. Make it a proper troll layer. Garbage can, trash city. Oh, I need tokens, not maps. Yeah, we're splitting up the trolls, plus also the characters have lots of ability to do like bad things to these. Yeah, lots of ability to do bad things to these monsters. Big pile of garbage out here. Oh, nope, don't move the map, Adam. Move the trash. Refuse 4. Just throw this crap around. We'll just say all the trash is like difficult terrain. Because that's fun. Who doesn't like difficult trash? Problematic garbage. Okay. And then let's look up trash. Let's see. I want a burning pile of garbage. Okay, let's see. Let's just get some bones. Where do they shit? Just about anywhere. Just all over the ground. Bag of bones. Wagon of undead. Here we go. Here's some bones. Let's fucking throw some bones. That's a giant. This is too big. It's too big of bones. Let's decorate some bony business here. Pile of bones. Too big, but I should be doing this on the token layer, but whatever. Bones. Let's just throw some skull. Little skull on the ground, little Skeletor here. And then I think we're good. I think that's fine. Oh, I love these Arcanite portraits. They're so good. Look at these cool dudes. Yes, look. Ancient Evils portraits. These are my favorite portraits. I love them. Okay. I like it. All right. So this will be where we start. They'll just be like in this area, and there will be some trolls, and their job, Hazan has set them against a group of trolls. And honestly, like if they just wipe these trolls out, right? If they just kick the shit out of the trolls, I'm okay with that, because we kind of want to set them up as being badass servants of the tower, right? So that's it. That's how I prep an encounter. I'm basically ready. We can resign all these other pages to the archive. Back to the archive. Check it out. One time I made a tavern where they were going to fight. I made this tavern. I never got to use it. This is a tavern where they were going to fight those guys. So consigned to the archives. I had a random encounter outside a statue. Maybe we were going to do, right? If I needed one in the forest. Not anymore. Let's get out of here. Here's the ancient house. That's going in the archive. There we go. So now we just have our base screen, and here, and we don't need you anymore. Don't need you. Don't need you. Don't need you. It's just Berg and Ramus. Cool. So yeah. So that'll be the first encounter. Now I want to talk a little bit about downtime. Let's talk about downtime. Here, let me pop back up to my big map. So time has passed, right? And I want to represent time passing. I want to represent time passing for these characters. So let's see what the Dungeon Master's Guide says about downtime activities. 127 to 131. Downtime. All right. Downtime activities. Carousing. Crafting magic items. This all takes money. Running a business. Saleable magic items. Sowing rumors. Here we go. Training to gain levels. As a variant rule, you can require characters to spend downtime training or studying before they gain the benefits of a new level. If you choose this option, once a character has earned enough experience points to attain a new level, they must train for... That's not what I want. I don't want that. Well, shit. That's boring. Let's look at that Unearthed Arcana. Because there's an Unearthed Arcana for downtime. Downtime. Okay. Here, I'm going to open this so you can see it. We can all look at it together. If I get my head out of the way. There we go. Okay, so this is playtest material. It's probably broken. Doesn't really work, just like everything else in Unearthed Arcana. Great. Choosing an activity, resolving activities. Creating NPCs to... And I don't want this to be the story of Berg and what he did. Goals. Nah, that's boring. I don't want this. I don't want them. I just want to know... Maybe I'll just give him some experience. Like, I get these are good for short term, but I need long term. I need, like, years have passed. This is all good, but it's too focused. Like religious service. Nope. 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 Yeah, it's like I gotta use love letters from Apocalypse World. God, fuck that. Fuck it. Let's do it. Fuck it. We're just gonna write Berg a love letter. And Ramus. We're gonna write Ramus and Berg a love letter. And we're gonna do it right now. Fuck it. You want to know how that works? So in Apocalypse World, and some games like it, thank you, Trist, for your suggestion. In Apocalypse World, and some games like it, you make a move that says, whatever, time has passed, roll this, go. Choose these options. If you get a 10 plus, you get some cool stuff. If you get a 7 to 9, you get some cool stuff. And I know what Berg's is going to be. Okay. Here we go. Create a new page. Dear PCs, I guess I'll be fair and I'll write one for everybody. Oh, this will be fun. This is going to be fun. Okay. Dear PCs. And I don't need grids for this. I just need a slightly less invasive background upon which to write my Dear Berg letter. Text. Let's write it in, I don't know, Patrick Hand. Dearest Berg, many years have passed since we saw you last. You've been working under the shadow of the tower and in the company of your new mentor, the immortal servant of destruction, Hazan al-Baraj. All the while, the influence of darkness within you has been growing. Let's see how you're doing. Roll 2d6 plus your... What should we have him roll? What should we have him roll? 2d6 plus your... How about just 2d6, maybe? Roll 2d6. On a 7 to 9, choose X. On a 10 plus, choose Y. And then we'll figure out our options. So what we want to do here is give him some good options, like raise a stat by 1. You know, you've been diligent in your efforts. Raise a stat by 1. Let's see. You've been diligent in your training efforts. Raise a stat by 1. You've been able to keep the darkness at bay. You've discovered... Yes, right. Yeah, no, it's Al. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Al Barrage. You have discovered some new magic item in your travels. Choose any, I don't know, common item. Something like that. I don't want to do a level, but yeah, like a stat. Something like that. Yeah, you've discovered a new magic item. Choose any common item. I don't know. Let's look at the items. Let's look at good. Are there any good common items? Magic items. Common. Oh, shit. There's only... What? There's only 4? What? That's it? That's a bullshit. Uncommon, then. Fuck it. Bam. Bam. Much better. Yeah, fuck that. There you go. Ooh, adamantine armor, though. That's pretty strong. fuck it. I can always take it away from him. Choose any uncommon from the DMG. That's fun. Adamantium armor is the one where you don't get crit anymore. But I can always take it away. It's fine. I'm not scared. Okay, so there you go. So the idea here is on a 7 and 9, we want him to not get all 3. So it's like on a 7 and 9, choose 1. On a 10 plus, choose 2. Do we think that raising a stat is equivalent to No. If he's not able to keep the darkness at bay, I promise I will tell him, if you don't pick that middle one, I am going to fuck you up. I will fuck you up, Berg. Like, seriously, that is some shit. I will fuck up your shit. So I will make it clear to him. If you fail, if you get a 6 or less, the toll will be dire. Roll the bones, tough guy. Yeah, the item is better. Can we incentivize? I want to bring up the item and the stat. Raise the stat by 2. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I'm into it. Raising a stat is just like a boon alternate. Yeah, okay. Excellent. Or raise the stat by 1 and then a random magic item. Oh, let's do that. That's better. Raise the stat by 1. We'll roll to find out what it is. That's much better. Oh, I like that. That's really fun. Okay. Yeah, lower it a little. Make it fun. Okay, great. So, dearest Berg, let's write some more love letters, shall we? My beloved Ramus, looks like heaven will have to wait. Hazan brought you back before you could achieve your just rewards. Shame how that works. But now you've got a new god. A god of destruction. Let's see how much the tower loves you. Roll 2d6. On a 10, on a 7 and 9, choose 1. On a 10 plus, choose 2. And let's give him same thing. 3 options. Blessings of the tower. Let's see. If you miss, it's all shadow and no tower, buddy. I guess we'll make it clear. Get a 6 or less. Okay. So let's say we basically want 1 scary one and 2 like good ones. So we want it to be about equivalent of like raising a stat. How about 1 free? Ooh, a warlock cantrip's kind of good. That's pretty cool. Yeah, okay. Nobody can tell that your soul is fundamentally fucked up and dissolving in a real bad way. There you go. So, yeah, you didn't make it back all the way. Something is desperately wrong with you. Okay, so what are some options? The tower has blessed you with 2 random stat boosts. Add +1 to 2 random stats. Something like that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. It's not the same as raising a stat by 1. It's 2 random stats. I like that. So it's a roll. And then your new magic is more potent than before. The sun blocks out, or the tower blocks out the sun. All your spell DCs are increased by 1. Something like that. Or should we give him like 1 more level 1 slot? Yeah. I kind of like that. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like the DC. I think that's a cool way without really fucking it up. Okay. And then lastly, I don't even know his character's name. Did he name him yet? JP's new character. JP's new character. Doesn't have a name yet. All right. Quote unquote gunslinger. Welcome to the party. I can't promise you're going to have a good ride. But then things have been pretty nasty for you since the fall of your noble house. Huh? All right, Shooty McGee. Welcome to the party. I can't promise you can have a good ride, but then things have been pretty nasty since the fall of your house. Let's see what you've got left over. Roll 2d6 on a 7 to 9. Choose one. This is a great way to start the campaign. I'm super about this. Choose one on a 10 plus. Choose 2. Some cachet remains attributed to your name. Someone important owes you one favor they can't say no to. The Mara aren't digging around in the bones of your family, looking for juice, looking for meat. I'm gonna change chewing, or I'm gonna change digging around, so chewing on. And then, oh, they don't have a choice. They can't refuse to roll. Oh yeah, right. Cachet. It's a little. And then, so these ones are gonna be narrative, right? Because he's a new character. Yeah, looking for marrow to suck out. And then lastly, so we got one bad one. One like I got a narrative one he can choose, and then we want like a magical or something. Oh, I know something about his retainer. Your loyal retainer is especially loyal. Something about them, or loyal and talented. We'll make this NPC better for him. I like the idea of not giving him anything to make him better, because the tower really isn't like a super big fan of the gunslinger yet. He's just kind of like, yeah, you're on the team. This is about his past life. This is about coming in. Was I right with the T on cachet? Yeah. Okay. So your loyal retainer is especially loyal and talented. It'll take more than earthly threats to shake them. So these are all kind of narrative, but the idea here is that if you choose this, the retainer, like it would shake, nothing short of a demon would turn them loose. Yeah. On a miss, all that's left of your once great family is ash and bitter ruin. Tough luck, but that's how it goes. Perfect. Now we have our love letters. So we'll do these after the fight. We'll start with the fight, and then we'll dump the thing. So I'll make a note here. So 1, the fight. Start with the action. 2, the rolls. The rolls on love letter. 3, meeting with Hazan. I can't wait to see what Max says about what Berg looks like and is like now, right? Does Berg have the blue tattoos like Hazan? I'm gonna let Max make up a bunch of cool stuff for the tower now. And I promise that I guess here let's talk about our fronts. So current. This can be my little. This can be a GM screen for me. Let's make a little. I'll make a little text box here for current fronts. As of episode 36, season 3, part 1. Okay, so our current fronts are the Darkness Within, which is Berg gets the vampiric elf magic in the first place. Something. Berg is subsumed by elf magic and becomes a horrific vampire psychic wraith thing / void hole in the universe. It's real bad, I promise. Okay, so that'll happen, and in the middle we've got some other shit that happens. We've also got the great halfling people's revolutionary action. Halfling brass miners begin organizing around Primrose. What's her name? Yurievna. Something. The Primrose. Let me say. Maybe the next step is the Primrose Manifesto is published. Something. The Halfling Slum. What do we call this district? Oh, we called it Kazalo Station District. Throws off the shackles of the, I don't know, whatever, bour, and how did I misspell bourgeoisie? The bourgeois, rich. So the Primrose Manifesto is published. Kazalo Station throws off the shackles of the rich and seizes the means of production. Hurrah, comrade. Yay. Yeah, okay. Bourgeoisie. I figured it out. Okay. All right. So that's two of our current fronts. These are adventure fronts. The campaign fronts continue to be... the campaign fronts continue to be... the Court of Swords War Against the Dead. I guess I'll note them. We'll just note them down at the bottom here. Campaign fronts, because I don't need to track these particularly right now. It's funny, Court of Swords might be the only recorded instance of using the like front system as we wrote it in Dungeon World. And it's funny because it's not even a game of Dungeon World. All right, so the war against the Necromancer King. We also have the impending invasion by extra-dimensional psionic elves. I guess the like eventual absorption of all spiritual life into the blissful void of the fountain. Kind of like it's not really a front, but this is kind of what's going on. So I guess we're going to use the terminology. Let's change this to adventure fronts. Yeah, okay. Also, Queen Nakana Ino and her snake lords. And then also the Mara and their quest to destroy that which humanity clings to most closely. Bang. All right, we did it. That's it. There's the front. These are the fronts. This is the game. This is what's happening. How did everything get moved to the bottom? Let's move it all up. Welcome to the Court of Swords, friends. This is how I GM the Court of Swords in the background. I have a lot of this stuff in my notes already, but yeah. But now you can see it. We'll do these. I'll do another GM turn after we make Anne's character. But for right now, this is it. So Thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out. I hope this has been edutational, intercational. I hope you know what's going on and that it was fun to watch. We'll come back and do more. Keep an eye on the official Roleplay Twitter and on my Twitter for when we're going to play the next episode. This is episode 35.5, and we'll try to continue doing more of these. Thanks everybody for coming and watching. If you missed any part of it, the VODs are available for subscribers right away, obviously. And then I will upload the highlights to YouTube, hopefully before the next episode, but we'll see when that happens. Thanks for coming, everybody. We will see you next time.